Good evening, and welcome to All Cats, All the Time. So many cats. Oh god, why are there so many cats? The show where there are so many cats. Up on the critter cam, we have Gigi. I believe Binks might also be in there. Moon, thank you so much for the resub. Moon, welcome in, Moon. Thank you for the resub. You're too sweet. Oh, that makes me so happy. Thank you so much for your continued support. No, thank you so much. See, Early is saying no, thank you. And shaking off your compliments. Well, welcome in, Moon. Welcome in, everybody. As always, you don't have to chat in the chat in order to hang out and lurk with us. We're just here for some Monday night body doubling, lo-fi and crafting and hanging out. And I was going to say that it is a super chill stream today, but we have a mission. Today we have a mission. We are going to finish these mittens. I am not ending stream until we finish the mittens. Hello, Story Stitcher. Welcome. I'm so glad you could join us. I hope you're not staying up too far past your bedtime. And Anna, welcome. Oh, all of our friends are here. Going for a quick hydrate there. Welcome, both of you. So, heck. What am I doing? All right, so we're not finishing stream until I finish these mittens. No, I don't care. It'll be. We're going until I finish the mittens. They will be done. You just wanted to pop in? Oh, I'm so glad you could. Well, the VOD's always going to be there the next day for you. And Titty, welcome. Welcome. So if Early will stop standing on the work, I will show you how much we have left. You're very tired as you worked on your sister's photo album for her 18th. Aw, that's sweet. Come on, Earls. That's so lovely. All right, so as you can see, we have almost a completed mitten here. I've worked up through the palm. I'm on the trigger finger. I'm on the thumb. So we just have to finish this and then do one more mitten and then we'll be good. Haha, psych, I already did the other mitten. I got you, chat. Pranked. Pranked. I'm not feeling super well today. We came down with some kind of stomach bug. So, yeah, that's about all the energy I could muster for that prank, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was a good prank. So I've already finished one mitten. So this is the other mitten. You can see the trigger finger construction here. No, so prank. You and your father caught a stomach bug too, Titty? Yeah, it's going around. Somebody else I was following is down with the stomach bug as well. I don't know what it is, but Toot got it, and then I ended up with it today, and just, yeah. So I finished one mitten already. So all we have left to do is finish the trigger finger and the thumb, which it would take me about 15 minutes if I wasn't getting distracted all the time. So I do you a big fool, a big prank. That we're epic knitting marathon. I got to this point early in the evening yesterday, and I was like, oh no, I already posted the schedule that we're working on the mitten tomorrow. So I need to stop working here and work on the mitten. So welcome to our lovely Monday Night Crafty Chat. I hope everyone had a good weekend. You guys were up to anything fun? Story Stitcher, if your sister's 18th birthday, that's really cool. That's a huge milestone. We had a pretty chill weekend. Like I said, we've been kind of down with a stomach bug. Pretty chill weekend. It's just been a lot of Stardew Valley, and I've been watching Ancient Aliens while Toot's been playing Stardew Valley. Toot says, feel better soon, upsetty titty. Aw, upsetty titty. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens and crafting, basically. What we've been up to. I have therapy tomorrow. That should be fun. Actually, I do enjoy therapy because I have a great therapist. She's one of those people who like gentle parents you through your crushing realizations in therapy. And it's like, could you just be like a little bit less nice about this? But I actually adore her. You had a freelance thing to do this weekend, so you knit like nobody's business. Awesome. Yeah, you've been cranking out the socks. Those are great. I sent Anna a set of 9-inch circular needles, which is one of the methods for knitting socks. You can use 2 circular needles. You can use 1 long circular needle in the magic loop. You can use DPNs. DPNs are what I'm using now. Or you can get a really, really tiny circular needle. It's basically a circular needle for Barbies. It's so small, but it's the exact circumference of a sock. They're the worst. The worst. Some people love them. Some people, that's their preferred method and they find them super comfortable. I am not those people. Anna is apparently not those people. Ella says, we organized the whole kitchen today and I made a cake out of mostly out of date. Still find ingredients, but it turned out too sweet. Aw, well, at least you still have cake. Then you can have just like a little bit of cake and the cake will last longer. YouTube says, what is this, a circular needle for ants? Yeah, that's how I felt the entire time I was trying it. But it's really one of those things that you don't know if you're going to like it until you try it. And unfortunately, they're quite expensive because they're not the kind of the cheap brands don't make them. So you have to pay the more expensive price for them. Someone passed along their set to me. I hacked up this row somewhere. There we go. Someone passed their set to me. I ended up not liking them, so I passed them to Anna, and I'm sure so on and so forth until we find someone who likes them. So we are live on both Twitch and YouTube. You should be seeing both chats up on the screen. But if you're ever confused as to who I am talking to, it might be someone from the other platform. Welcome in, Michelle. Thanks so much for joining us. 9s aren't the easiest. You like Magic Loop doing 2 at a time toe up? Yeah. I either do Magic Loop or DPNs. I learned how to do Magic Loop and was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm throwing out all my DPNs. I learned how to do magic loop and I was like, I am throwing out all of my DPNs. I'm never using DPNs again. This is amazing. And then I realized that I actually prefer DPNs. So there's that. Sorry, I'm trying a new setup with my mic. So if there's audio irregularities, let me know. I think it has to do with how you hold the needles, because for me, I brace my needle against the palm of my hand, but because the 9-inch circulars are so short, the actual needle tip itself is only maybe 2.5, 3 inches, and there isn't enough needle to brace against my palm. So I'm having to like cramp my hands and hold them in place instead of being able to rest them the way that I want. So there's that. Anna says, thanks for sending them my way so I could hate them too. Yeah, you either love them or hate them. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's been ambivalent on 9-inch circulars. You learned magic loop because you couldn't have DPNs at the beginning. Still bought a set for I-cord, bind-offs, and swatches. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they're just a lot more comfortable and a lot more convenient, and I found that I actually do prefer them over magic loop. I don't know what it is, but having to switch from DPN to DPN, I don't find as jarring as having to rearrange my magic loop. So it's really just a matter of comfort. I know some people cannot stand doing the DPNs, but I quite like them. But I still hung on to them because doing things like this trigger finger, for example, this would be a nightmare on magic loop. Oh, we're having another visitor coming. Hello, Bella. Hello. Are you going to actually come on the screen, or are you going to just stand there just out of sight? Oh, you can see your little beans. So this is early over here. And then over here is Bella. I feel like they're about to ask me a riddle. One of them only speaks the truth and one of them only speaks lies. Guys, you're really cramping my my knitting space here. Anna also has great taste in sock yarn. I have been ogling every time she shares some of her stash or new acquisition. Like, ooh. I'm also very jealous because Anna is close enough to go to Les Garçons brick and mortar store. I don't know if you actually have yet. I know I've been telling Moon that she needs to go and go there for me, but alright, so I need 14 rows of, so you can see it on the back here. So we did the palm in the gray, and then the top of the mitten was in purple for Titty, and then the trigger finger is in blue, and then the thumb will also be in blue. So I need 14 rows of this like light blue. Got 11 rows, so we need 3 more rows, and then we're shaping the top. This is the only problem with these mittens. I love doing these mittens, but when they get to this point where it's just like a bunch of needles and a bunch of stitch holders and everything hanging off of it, it's a little bit much. I know you love purple, Titty. That's why the part of these mittens are purple. You asked for them. And I think of you whenever I work with that purple yarn. So yes, these are the mittens that we actually picked out live on stream. Chat helped me pick out the colors and the pattern. The pattern for these is, I feel like that E just popped really badly. The pattern for these is the Spring Ice Trigger Mitts from the book Saltwater Mittens. Michelle says, I used DPNs tonight for the first time, dropped a stitch on one of the pairs. They say you're dropping both. Yeah. Yeah. I like DPNs. I find them a little bit easier to manipulate and maneuver. So my yarn is stored like that way, and it just keeps tangling up weirdly. I was gonna have it over here, but then early settled there, so we're dealing with it. So the pattern is Spring Ice Trigger Mitts from the book Saltwater Mittens. I first got this book 2019 for my birthday, I believe. And it's a book of traditional Newfoundland mittens. And my goal is to make every pair of mittens in the book by the end of this year. So after I finish this, I will have 5 more pairs left to go. This is my goal. This is my plan. I use Briggs & Little Heritage, which is this lovely rustic woolly wool. And I have a bunch of different colors of it in varying amounts, so I'm just kind of trying to use up all my little bits and pieces. And then when I've used up all my bits and pieces, all the bits and pieces are going to go into a hap shawl for myself. So getting these mittens done, I wanted to do them as like a palette cleanser, just something quick and easy, and then I ended up getting completely distracted. That is not a stitch. I ended up getting completely distracted from them and didn't finish them as quickly as I wanted to. I am, however, not going to finish them in 2025. Yeah, I'm a squirrel. Squirrel. But they will be finished tonight. We're finishing them tonight, guys. And then, so I put the other 5 patterns on my knitting Whip Go board. And I'll talk a little bit about Whip Go in a second. And I'm like, okay, I'll put them on there and they'll come up, and, you know, at some point over this next year, I will make them. And then, of course, the Whip Go calls for April came out this morning, and one of the pairs of saltwater mittens is up on my docket for next month. So after I finish these, I'm pretty much immediately casting on another pair, but that's okay. They'll be my birthday mittens. Going to take a second to hydrate. I hope you guys are hydrating with me. This isn't tea or coffee. It's actually strawberry banana orange juice. I don't know why, but I always put my orange juice in a mug. And thank you for the hydrate, Toot. So, as y'all know, I am ADHDH. And is it because you put your OJ in a mug? I don't know if I started doing it after you did it or if I did it before and we both just happened to do it. But it could very well be a trait that I picked up from you. So I enjoy finding ways to gamify stuff. Gamify my to-do lists, gamify my crafting, gamify my unsustainable numbers of whips. So one thing that I was doing was the Wheel of Whips, which we're bringing back on Friday, by the way. So if you come for Friday's live stream, we're going to be spinning the wheel, which means every 15 minutes you can make me change projects at random. So that's one way, like, because it's extrinsic motivation, but also it's got that like element of dopamine from the game element. And as we know, people with ADHD, our brains are driven by dopamine. And interesting. Toot has peach mango ginger ale. That actually, except for peach ginger ale, I'd be down for. The mango, I'm like, on. But I know that you love it, so. The blackberry ginger ale that we got the other day was delicious. So gamifying. So I've got the Wheel of Whips, which also helps me decide on what I'm going to work on. Because if I'm having that like decision paralysis where I just don't know what I want to work on next, and so I'm just not working on anything, I can spin the wheel and at least that's like something. Because there's always that old adage, like if you're not sure what to do, flip a coin, and if you're disappointed in the results, you know what you really wanted to do. I kind of use my wheel like that. Occasionally anyways. So I discovered WhipGo, which is a bingo-like game. That is kind of started on the floss tube cross stitch community. But the creator of it says that you can use it for any kind of set of goals you have, whether it be reading or knitting or anything like that. Yeah, Anna, it's the new flavor of Canada Dry. Both of them are actually. The blackberry ginger ale is sugar-free. And then the peach mango is the like original one made with cane sugar. But yeah, we just picked it up at Walmart on our last grocery order. It's always a little shocking when we order stuff from for groceries and they actually have it in stock. Oh, some is sugar-free. The boxes that we got aren't. Okay. And yes, you said that there's a black cherry. Did we put some of the black cherry in the grocery cart? Excellent. Yeah, cherry, like I love cherry flavored anything pretty much. So yes, so I discovered WhipGo. The premise is that at the end of the year, you create a bingo board, you fill it with all of your whips or chunks of whips. So in my case, for my cross stitch one, it's 1,500 stitches or 24 blocks for my goddess cross stitch because reasons. And then the organizer calls out 2 numbers a month, and that's the project that you work on. And then if you finish that project, you get to tick off the square, and then, you know, if you get a bingo, you get a bingo. I'm sorry, Anna. Cottage black cherry, hot black cherry with a smoked meat sandwich and a pickle. Oh, that sounds so good. Anna, we're coming over. You and Toot can have sandwiches, and then you and I will go to the yarn store together. I think that sounds good. I think they might, yeah. Sumilicious is a Montreal meat place near us. So when I was in college, I had a friend who lived in Montreal, and I would visit him occasionally. I went there for Pride one year, and I honestly don't remember much of that weekend because we did a lot of drinking. This is a PG-13 chat, so I do not advise doing this, but one really fun thing is we're walking around Montreal. It was like 2 in the morning, and we found this place that my buddy knew about, and it was a guy who sold fried noodles out of like the front of his store. Like he was in the store, but the like window was just open, and he had his grill, his like wok and everything set up right there on the pretty much on the street, and he had this peanut sauce that came with it, and he made it in a massive Kraft peanut butter jar. And the noodles were amazing, and the peanut sauce was amazing, and it was just the most random thing to find on a random Montreal street at 2 in the morning. There was a really cool queer bar that we went to called Le Drugstore. It's closed now, which is too bad, but it was 7 stories tall, and each story had like a different decor style. So one was like a one had like popcorn machines and clowns and skee ball and stuff like that, and then one was like the rooftop garden, and that was such a cool spot. I'm really sad that it's closed because I would love to go back there. It says they love wandering around big cities at night. Yeah, you see some of the most interesting things, and you find the coolest little spots. Brief counting break. Everybody feel free to shout out numbers to try and distract me. Guys, I knit like 3 rows too many. I have to rip out 2 rows. Please hold. The drugstore was fun, and then you went to Le Club Sandwich right next to it for a poutine. Oh, that would have been so good. I don't think we did go for poutine. I think by the time we got to the top of the drugstore, we were exhausted because we got a drink on every floor. And I speak very, very little French, so I was completely out of my element. So what I am doing here, I'm leaning away from the microphone while I do this. But what I'm doing is I'm picking up 1 leg of each stitch in this second row from the top here. Picking up 1 leg in each stitch. You don't pick up both, just one, and always make sure it's the same one. Which leg you pick up will change how the stitch is mounted, whether it's twisted or not. I can't remember which leg I should be picking up. If they're twisted, I just knit them through the back loop to untwist them. But I'm just doing that on all sides, and then I'm just gonna yank on this yarn and unwind 2 rows, and all the stitches should still be on the needles when I'm done. The lovely thing about this Briggs & Little, it is an ET trigger finger right now. The wonderful thing about Briggs & Little is that it is quite sticky because it's a really woolly wool. So it's, if I had lost a stitch, it's probably going to stay in place until I can pick it up again. It's not going to go sliding out. All right, you guys ready? Trying to figure out the best angle for this. Everything's back on the needles where it should be. Easy, painless. So then the trigger finger is formed. We do a K1, K2 together, K1, and then repeat. So it's actually like 2 knits in a row after you do the first one. I don't know why it's written like that. It doesn't super matter the pattern of decreases. The great thing about working these traditional patterns is that the people who originally made them were just kind of winging it, and they wouldn't have known, like, okay, I have to work 14 rows. They would have gone like, that's good enough. I think I hecked something up. That's okay. It's the final 2 rows. It's fine. Yeah, I just moved one of my knit stitches to where it shouldn't be, but that's okay. Like that's a mistake that I'll fudge. The extra 2 rows, it might make the trigger finger too long. So like I already feel like this palm is a bit long. So anyways, well, the person who's getting them has lovely long nails, so they'll probably need the extra room. At least that is the idea. I have to figure out who to give the other ones to. Because, like, you only need so many pairs of mittens for yourself, right? A couple of the pairs I made went down east to my cousins. I hope they're getting some good wear. The pair that I made for myself, I use all the heckin' time. Okay, so that is all of our decreases done. You can see we've got just a few stitches left on the needle here. I'm actually going to move these over to this. Nope, I'm going to move them over to this needle. So they're not wobbling around like that. I keep my favorite tapestry needles in here. I have more, but you always have like your favorite needle, the one that you reach for all of the time. So I've got like this is my favorite sharp needle. It's a pony black and white, and it's quite sharp. So it's really good for weaving in ends. If I'm grafting, I like using this one because it's blunt, but it's like nice and thick, easy to hold. And then this one is perfect for darning because it's got the little bend on it. Just gonna snip that yarn there. So yes, this was my Whip Go project for March, was finishing the stripy sleeve sweater, which I did. I'm very excited about that. There is actually like a project video up on the YouTube channel about the stripy sleeves. It just goes through it kind of step by step, how, not even step by step. I meant for it to go by step, and then I kind of forgot to film a bunch of stuff in the middle. Thank you to throwing up a link to the YouTube there for people on Twitch. So that was my March call, and then this is the other March number. So I just threaded this sewing needle through all of the live stitches, and you just draw them in like that. And then you sew it down so you don't have quite this like pointy effect going on. I only discovered Whip Go in March. So I started with March's goals. Hello, Earls. I started with March's goals. And then I'm just going to catch up on previous goals as I go. So the first thing I had done was setting up my cross stitch board was pretty straightforward because I only have 4 whips. So I figured out if I did 1,500 stitches on each of the 4 whips 24 times in the year, so like 2 per month, I would finish all of them in the course of the year. So that was really straightforward because it was just like, okay, it's going to be 1,500 stitches on this. Except for my goddess piece, because it's charted with a bunch of stitches that I'm not actually stitching. So I was finding it really hard to keep up with how many stitches I had actually done. And it was starting to stress me out a little bit. So I decided instead I'm just going to worry about getting a 10 by 10 block done and just figure out like how many blocks I need to have accomplished. And I think that's just going to be a lot more doable. And then I'm not like stopping in the middle of a block or something. So if I aim for 24 blocks a month, or 24 blocks per draw, it'll also be done on time. Right, so I wove in my end there. I just took the needle and I went down the column of V's in between. So there's like a little bar at the base of every V. I just went up and down until I got to about here. And then I'm just gonna snip this short. So the great thing about these mittens in this yarn is the more that you wear it, the more it will not really felt, but kind of mesh together and it settles into a denser fabric. So the ends aren't going to come out. It's going to be very waterproof, very windproof. The longer you wear them, the better they get, basically. Hi, Early. She's sitting here judging me. I'm actually going to take this stitch marker off because I don't really need it anymore. I was using it, I had it at the beginning of the round, so I'd remember what needle was the beginning of the round, basically. But now it's catching on the yarn because it's got spiky bits. I took some dinosaur jewelry and made a bunch of stitch markers out of it. They're super cute. I have not knit thrummed mittens. Those are also super traditional where I'm from. And Briggs & Little actually does sell the roving yarn for doing the thrums, but I haven't done them myself. I've seen some that are like rainbow, which would be really cool. So a thrummed mitten, you've probably seen them before. So it would be knit like this, except all in one color. But then there would be a little, like a one bump of unspun roving. So it'd be like really soft, really squashy, just pure wool. And so there'd be like a bump here and a bump here and a bump here and a bump here and a bump here. So it wouldn't be the whole mitten. It would just be every now and then, and it makes the inside really fluffy. It's almost like lining them with fleece. So I've never done it myself, but they do look very comfy, and you'll see thrummed slippers as well as mittens, and I think I've seen a thrummed hat as well. But the ones that I really like when they take a neutral color, like a nice like gray or black, and then the thrums are bright rainbow or bright neon. That's totally my vibe. Hi Melanie, welcome in. I'm so glad to see you. We just finished the finger on our trigger mitten, and I'm switching over to doing the thumb. Been talking a little bit about WhipGo, trying to get my so the numbers for April just came out this morning, so that kind of informed my crafting for the next little bit, because it'll, like, it doesn't tell me you can only work on this. It's more like, okay, now I kind of have an extrinsic something making the decision as to what I'm going to work on next, which I find really helpful. And there is that idea of kind of like racing yourself, which I also enjoy. Okay. So just getting the stitches back on the needle here. This is a stitch holder. It looks like a safety pin, but it doesn't have the coil at the back, so nothing gets caught on it. I'm going to be listening while making a cake. Ooh, that sounds very good. You have to make enough to share with chat though, so just FYI. And then, so you can see we've got, these were the stitches I put on hold from the thumb gusset. And then I'm going to pick up stitches along here to kind of bridge that gap. The thumb gusset is, so I'm trying to see how well you can see this. So basically I was knitting straight up, and then I was also increasing stitches out this way to create the space for the thumb. You guys can't see it, but Early's head is resting on my arm right here, and every time I move my arm, she's moving her head with me. It's very cute. You're very cute, girls. All right, so let's get our yarn joined, and we're doing 12 rows on the thumb. So can I do 12 rows in the next hour and 15 minutes? Will I be squirreled? Only time will tell. Stay tuned. So what I decided to do with my WhipGo for knitting, because I have it set up for cross stitch really nicely, I'm happy with that system, but I have originally put all of my knitting whips on my WhipGo board, and that's not super how my knitting mojo works. And I was kind of like, I don't. So what I decided to do was, instead of naming a specific project, I put a category of project. So I wrote down the 5 of the 5 other pairs of mittens. I wrote those down by name. I wrote down the project that I'm making for a friend, and then the other ones that I wrote down were just the Me Made Wardrobe Project pullover and Me Made Wardrobe Project cardigan. And then from there, I can just decide what I want to work on that month. Thank you for the hello, Melanie, for all of our babies. We have Kitty City up on the Critter Cam. If you're ever curious about who is up on the Critter Cam, you can use the command !critter in chat. Works on both YouTube and Twitch, and it'll just spit out a little line of text about whoever is currently on the camera. So these are the ends of the yarn that I just joined. I'm just tucking them into the thumb to get them out of the way, basically. So for April, I am going to be working on another pair of these mittens, the Grenfell mittens. All right, we've got to pick up. So the Grenfell mittens are going to come on. So after I finish these, I'm going to give myself a few days off because technically I shouldn't start until April. And I'm going to take that technicality. The Grenfell mittens. And then the other two projects I have to work on. The other knitting project is my citrine pullover, which I'm very excited for. So the citrine pullover was also the draw for February. So I'm working backwards to get February and January as well. So basically I want to get a lot done on citrine this month. I'm very excited because it looks absolutely gorgeous. And then I've also got my Mr. Rogers cardigan out, the Usagi pullover for Moon, and yeah, that's it. Those are the other three projects I've got going on. If I finish these mittens, I can show you guys my other whips if you're interested in seeing what else I'm working on. And then for cross stitch, I'm working on my frog skeleton and my Kyrie and Sora piece. Alright, so I've picked up the stitches along the back. And because there's so few stitches on the needles right now, you can see it really is like doing like working with a hedgehog, as they say. I'm just going around and around and around in a circle. I'm using the salt and pepper pattern, which is traditional for these mittens. It's just this 1x1 color work. You do one stitch of the light color and one stitch of the dark color. All right, I'm just going to flip the camera over for a second. Going to see if we can get some action over in Kitty City. Thank you to Toot, who is currently doing a tree eat. And there we have Binks. Early, you gonna go for treats? You gonna stay here with me? Well, Binks got the memo for sure. And there's Pico. Pico's our beautiful orange kidder. We have 5 cats. There is Bella, the oldest. She is a brown and white tabby. She is 15 this year. Next up is Pico, the ginger tabby you can see on the camera. She is 14. And then we've got Early, who's sitting on my desk next to me, and our gray and white tabby, who is 13. And then next up is Gigi, the handsome, handsome, handsome tuxedo man. Oh, he's in the top bunk. Oh, I wish I could reposition the camera. Our handsome, handsome tuxedo man. He is 8 at this point, 7 or 8. And then the youngest is Binks, who's just about 4 and a bit. 5, 6. 6. Oh my god, we'd have gotten her 6 years ago. Oh, they're babies growing up. And Binks is all black. I love that only Pico is taking advantage of the treats that were just yeeted in her direction. She's like, don't mind if I do. Oh, there's Bella. You can see despite being the oldest, she's also the smallest. Except maybe Binks. She might be the same size as Binks. But she's just a little tiny princess kitten. Toot says they yeeted some at Gigi because he's the cutest. Yes. We know. You're a boy, Mom. It's okay. Oh, and there he comes. Gigi is on the scene looking for more treats. Don't you wow at me like it's not true. So this area of the house is basically entirely for them. They have that bunk bed. They like to curl up on the bottom bunk, on the top bunk. It gets so nice and warm and sunny in there. They've got food, litter box, so many warm, cozy places to sleep. It's just, it's their little kingdom. And they've decided they are done with being on camera, and they have come to harass me. Orchid, hey, welcome in. I'm so glad you could join us. Yeah, we just had a little bit of a treat, so I hope you guys watching took some time to grab a treat yourself. Make sure you have something lovely to drink. Make sure you're hydrating. And if you've been crafting along with me, don't forget to take a minute to stretch. Stretch out your arms and legs. Stretch those fingers. Want to keep the mobility good. So Orchid, we are finishing these mittens. Well, thank you for the work, Lurk. Always, always appreciated. Hope I can keep you company. We'll let them munch away over there. So if you are crafting along with me, please let me know what you're working on. I know Melanie is making a cake, so don't take a moment to type back to me. Just continue baking. I've got the spring ice mittens going on here. Toot is cross-stitching into oblivion. Toot is actually working on a really cool piece. It's a Freddy Fazbear, the logo for Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. If you are a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. And once she finishes the stitch, I'm actually going to be releasing 2 versions of the pattern in my Etsy store. One is going to be a large 11.5-inch size, and one is going to be a more moderate. I think I'm going to try for like 6 inches, maybe 8. I'm not sure. Anna's still working on the sock, which, Marlon wants to get involved. It is Marlin, right? Or am I thinking of someone else's cat? Early here doesn't seem to want to be involved. She just wants to be nearby. Oh, Marlin is a handsome man. Your current whips are an Evil Eye coin purse and a granny square blanket for your mom. Oh, that's lovely. Yes, I thought I saw that you mentioned that you didn't think you were going to make the granny square blanket, but you decided to pick one up. I don't think I'm over my granny square burnout quite yet, because I did make a full-size blanket for my sister-in-law not too long ago. Probably like a year ago at this point. Who knows? What is time? Time has no meaning. But that was a lot of granny squares. So I think I'm not going to do any more. I do have a little stash of granny squares I made out of sock yarn. I think I'm going to use them to repair my chair in my like little sitting room area. It's the chair that if you've seen the Cozy Cast, it's the chair that I sit in when I record those. And the cats have just scratched it to heck and back. So I think I'm going to patch it up with some granny squares. I love visible mending. Your granny squares are 12 inches across. Okay, so you don't have to do like many of them. They're just large. Yeah. I did find a very good joining tutorial that was kind of like, it was kind of a join as you go, doing a border around each square. So it ended up looking really good, and it was definitely a lot less annoying than sewing. Because as we know, sewing is the worst. I picked up a book of, it's called Knitted Animal Friends. And they're these absolutely precious little animal dolls with different clothes and everything. But they're so fiddly, and there's so much sewing and shaping that I'm like, I love the idea of these. I don't know if I'd actually enjoy the process of making them, but I also really want some. Orchid says they love the granny squares with the granny stitch, and different colors for every row. Yeah, that's what I did. I had different colors for every row. So many ends. So many ends. So many ends. What I had, like, it wasn't every square had different rows. It was, I had solid granny squares and then granny squares with like a flower in the middle. So the ones with the flower were 3 different colors. And that was a lot, but the overall effect was perfect. It looks so good. It was never ending, yeah. There's a knitted frog going around on TikTok, which you think is super cute, but you also don't want to learn. Ah, yes, the Claire Pebbles. Claire Pebbles. Claire Garland, also known as Dot Pebbles. Frog. Claire Garland is a super talented designer. Like, the frog got viral, but all of her designs are just so well done. I've heard that that one is super fiddly too. But she does have a really sweet little, like, elephant in a pinafore that has caught my eye more than one. It might be happening. It might be happening. If you are a knitter, the Humble Bundle, this book bundle this month, is knitting books, and that's actually where I picked up Knitted Animal Friends. Because Knitted Animal Friends has been in my Amazon to buy later cart wishlist section for literal years. And I was able to pick it up along with, I think, like 22 other books for not very much, including a book by Veronica Avery, who is a wonderful designer who did a bunch of stuff with like Vogue knitting and stuff like that. Very well-known designer. And it's just like a really nice book of simple staples. Anyways, check out the bundle. It's definitely worth it, I think. I'm getting so croaky tonight. My hydration methods this evening are the orange, strawberry, banana drink. I have a Gatorade, and then of course I have my emotional support diet Pepsis. Thank you for the dancing frogs. Let us hope that the frog does not visit us before we have to, before we get this mitten finished. You really, Anna says they really love the animals from the Moosh and Friends book. I've heard of it. I know I've seen it, but I'm struggling to recall. I'm gonna have to look it up after stream. But yeah, I've seen that one, and I think I remember that it was super, super cute. The one that I'm always interested in is the Toft animals, the crochet ones, just because they're so iconic. Oh, apparently they're seamless. I like seamless. Seamless is good. I am working on a stuffed animal right now, and it is not seamless, but there's only like a couple of seams, and I think you can crochet most of them. Which I much prefer doing. After I finish this thumb, I'll show you guys. Oh, thank you so much, Anna. So yeah, if you guys are interested, we do have a Discord for the community. It's just a nice little server. You can come hang out, share animal pictures, get some crafting information crafting words. If you have questions about a project you're working on and you need help with it, or if you want opinions, or if you just want to share stuff you've made, then the Discord is definitely the place to do that. We've also got a little gaming chat. And every day, Toot posts a reminder about why you are special and you are valued. And we want you here with us. It's always a little bit of sunshine. It's also the place to go to get all of the announcements and updates on what's going on stream and with the Etsy store. Like if I have to cancel stream abruptly, I'll announce it in the Discord or things like that. Yeah. Okay, after we finish this row, we have to count. I've just been blissfully knitting around and around in a circle. I watched one knitting podcast that referred to that as NASCAR knitting because you just go around in a circle really, really fast. Okay, 2 more rows. Only 2 rows this time, not like 3 or 5 or whatever I did last time. Thanks so much for dropping by, Anna. Enjoy your dinner. Have a good one. You saw, Moon says they saw Kitty City is having an RGB party. Yes, we just got new lights for under the fort there. Let me just see if I can show you guys. So yeah, under the fort, you can see that there are some lovely lights. You'll probably see them more and more as the sun goes down. We're just about at that point in the day. But yes, we have some lovely lighting. It's remote controlled through our Govee app and everything like that. So, as is every other part of our house, pretty much. Just makes it kind of extra cozy in there. You both admire and envy that for us. It's great. Like, the setting is called Fireflies. Oh, it's so pretty. Like, honestly, having the automatic... No, not automatic. What's the word I'm looking for? The smart lights. Smart lights everywhere has been such a huge help. Being able to set timers and being able to like turn lights on and off without actually getting up is, I mean, I don't like to keep beating this drum, but it's definitely a disability thing for us. It's such a huge help. And yeah, it is just funny when the timer goes off at night and it's like, oh, all of the lights in the house just turned off. I guess we're going to sleep. Thank you for the hydrate, Moon. Orchid says they love their smart devices. And yeah, we got them with gift cards from Swagbucks. We paid almost next to nothing out of pocket for all of our smart devices. The other thing that's good is so Govee, which does all the lights that we have, They also do hydrometers, which is a little device that measures the ambient humidity and temperature, which we have in all of the reptile enclosures. So we can monitor from a distance the temperature and humidity inside their enclosures, and it'll alert us if they drop or if they go too high. Which is fantastic because it just really helps us take care of our babies better. And it's all through the same app, so I can like turn off the lights in the bedroom, turn on the light in Penny's enclosure, and check on Pow's humidity all from the same app. So okay, so that's the 2 rows. So we just have the 2 rows of decreases, and then yeah. And then these mittens will be finito. Just have to rearrange the stitches on the needles a little bit for when you're doing decreases across 2 needles. But these last 2 rows, the stitch definition isn't going to be super clear anyways. So if you kind of mess up the order of the colors, no one's really going to know. Who's going to know? No one's going to know. Also, these patterns always call for knit 2 together. I always do a slip slip knit or a knit 2 together through the back loop just because I find it way more comfortable. Lo-fi just went vaguely Stardew and the way your brain tuned in. Yes, Toot has been living and breathing Stardew Valley since the 1.6 update dropped last Tuesday. Which is amazing. It's been so fun watching them play because they'll stream it for me while they're playing. So I'll be like puttering around watching Ancient Aliens or something and also watching them play Stardew, and every now and then they'll be like, what is this? What? Concerned Ape, who is the developer of Stardew and is currently ruining Toot's life by creating new content, which is triggering her perfectionism in games. It's so funny. So because I have like a super small number of stitches on the needle, I'm just knitting them all onto one needle to make it easier for that final step. Because at this point it's basically a giant I-cord, like an I-cord of... No, not an I-cord of fortune. An I-cord of fortune is an item in the video game Shovel Knight. Which is what Toot is referring to. Alright, so that's it. All I have to do is draw this in and then weave in the ends, and then we're done. We are done the mittens. Thank you for the hydrate, Moon. Give me 1 second to get these drawn up. See, I told you we're not finishing stream until I finish the mittens. Not clickbait. Hashtag totally clickbait. Early? Is that your mitten now? Thank you for giving me the hydrate, Moon. Oreo cookies. I would love an Oreo cookie, please. Early, do you want an Oreo cookie? Are you an Oreo cookie? Are you heckin' irritated with me that I just did that? Yes, I'm good elevator, but yes, we have tried the Space Dunk Oreos. They just taste like Oreos. They're supposed to have popping candy in them, in the cream part. I didn't realize that, and it didn't. Oh, they do pop when you stress eat a whole row of them. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right, so just going to trim that in there. And when you are crafting around cats, make sure you know where all of your ends are. These are going to go immediately in the trash can because I don't want anybody to eat them. So now let's just turn. So, ta-da! Ta-da-da-da-da! Just needs to weave in all the ends. So let's just turn this boy inside out. Toot. I was never going to finish these in 2025. Orchid says they tried the Pop Rocks and chocolate bar. Yeah, they've put way too many things in chocolate bars lately. It's definitely interesting. I'm ignoring your ribbing, by the way. I'm ignoring the trolls and the haters. I finished the mittens in like 3 weeks. I don't know what more you guys want from me. So we just have to weave in all of these ends. So I don't have a particular technique I use for weaving in ends. I just kind of go down and then back up and then around and then. I like to use the sharp needle for weaving in ends because sometimes it'll split the thread that I'm weaving in. Did you time out Moon again? Anyways. Oh, hi Moon. Good. Moon is free. And like I said, this yarn is quite sticky, so it'll why is that over there? Thank you so much for the resub, Opie. A 10-month streak. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you. You are very much appreciated here. I hope you are enjoying the stream. I hope that you have something lovely to drink. And that you are hydrating, and that I can figure out what happened with this piece of yarn. That's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. I was just making sure I hadn't messed up the trigger finger after all of that. Now see, finishing the mittens is not the true challenge. Weaving in all the ends in the next 40 minutes is. So yeah. Like I said, the yarn is quite sticky, so it'll moosh down into itself with wearing. They are perfect to do finger guns. Like I said, these are like the best mittens when you have to be outside for long periods. So like if you take transit or anything like that, and you just need a little bit of extra mobility without sacrificing your hands to the freezing cold. The trigger mitts are perfect for that. I should dig out my mittens that I've been wearing for a couple of winters now and show you guys kind of how they felt together. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that all of your ends get immediately into the trash away from little kitty mouths, especially if you're working with 100% wool, because in my experience, cats love that. And you don't want them to eat it. Yeah, I've never had them go for the floss bit, but the yarn ends, especially this wool. Dude has. Well, Gigi just goes for the floss in general. Oh, it's so funny. He'll try and take the needle out of the cross stitch piece while she's working on it. It's too funny. Maisie goes for the whole skein. Yep. Yeah, the cats don't go for my yarn a lot unless it's like actively moving around. But every now and then Gigi will just straight up steal a ball of yarn, and he'll be so nonchalant about it. He'll just like wander on by and pick it up in his teeth and walk off like, yeah, what? So what? You got a problem with it? This is what I do. Day 87. We are still weaving an end. Oh, Gigi is the little chaos monster of our lives. He's a good boy. I just have all these ones on the cuff left to do. So a little thing I like to do when I'm weaving in kind of this first end here. So you can see this is right at the very beginning, and there's like this little kind of jog. Trying to get my finger behind it so you can see. So there's this little kind of jog where the rounds meet. So what I'll usually do is I will use this yarn tail to sew up that jog. Aww. Let's have a look there. Aw, look at Early in her little haunted house. She's so cute. So I'll just use the yarn tail to sew up that little jog, because most bind offs or cast-ons, they have like a row of V's. You'll be able to see some V's along here. So you just kind of like make another V with the yarn, the same size and shape as the other one. And then it just smooths things out a little bit more. Maisie takes the whole skein and builds herself parkour courses. Like lasers going across the entire living room. Oh no. Oh no. Not the laser grid. You guys can see the sun is well down, but it's just a cozy little space for our babies. And then the ends where I'm joining or ending a color, I like to give those just not like a super hard tug, because that can warp the fabric, but just a little tug to make sure the stitches are laying nice and flat the way that you want them to. She got a hold of some ladder yarn. You didn't have the patience to undo it. You just cut it and threw it away. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Sometimes you gotta cut your losses, literally. And yes, Gigi and Binks both love scaring us in the spooky clown. Because Binks is all black except for a little white flash on her chest, right? So she was in the like spooky clown house. And it just looked like nothing. It looked like there was a shadow in there because it was dark. And I was walking by and I glanced up. I'm like, okay, there's no one in the clown house. And then Binks opened her eyes, and it was just a pair of eyes out of the darkness. Oh my god. I saw my life flash before my eyes in that moment. She's a cutie, but she's a spooky, spooky girl. Our collection of spooky houses is all from PetSmart. Every year around Halloween they do, well, I think like they do it for all the seasons pretty much. But they'll release like their seasonal line, and then they usually have one of these cardboard scratcher houses in whatever the theme is. So we've got a Christmas one. It's right on the very end. You can't really see it. But we always have to get the Halloween ones. Of course, because us being us. And the girls absolutely love them. I always say the girls when I refer to the cats because we had 3 female cats before we got Gigi, and by that point we had just started calling the cats the girls. So we still refer to them as the girls. Really showing off for you guys. I've got my head down, focusing on weaving these ends. Are you gonna be a spooky clown girl? You going for some crunch? Oh no, she's done with us. Goodbye. You heard about the spookers in the clown house, maybe? Moon says. All right, these are the last 2 ends. No more ends, no more ends. I don't see any. Trying to turn everything right side out again. All right, these are going immediately right in the trash can. Okay. So there we go. The mittens are finished. And Early is here. Hi, baby girl. Early, we finished the mittens. Are you happy for us? Thank you so much for Moon. Yes. Live finish. Here they are. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I always do them with a cat with this nice long cuff so that they can go up your sleeve into your jacket. And then that way you don't get any snow on your skin. All right, so there they are. I'm so happy with that. I love this this Escher-like pattern, which was actually really easy to memorize. Yeah, the 2 finger sections do remind me a bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. It's definitely like a little Zoidbergy. So yeah, so if I was to do the cuff the whole way, so you can see it does extend up my arm quite a bit. And these are slightly tight on me because they're made a size down. Yeah. But yeah, there's the finished mitten. Thumbs up. Finger guns. Ka-chow. Yeah, like the tabby socks. Mickey, thank you so much for the resub. And welcome in. You got here just in time. We just finished up this project. Pew pew. The finger guns, yeah. All right, so next thing I need to do is I need to take some pictures of these. So that I will do later. But then I have to update my crafting log with the final details. So this is my WhipGo board. So you can see in the first space here is Spring Ice, finished in March. We got that finished, so we can tick it off. Beautiful. She is such a love bug. She's so helpful. Here, early. Okay, I'm going to show the people this, and then I will at you with this hand. So this is my cross-stitch WhipGo board. As you can see, I've finished both March's numbers as well as February's. And I'm going to continue working backwards and try and get January done as well. But the calls for the 2 projects for January are actually the same as the 2 projects for April. So I might just try and get like a double done on that. And then this is my WhipGo board for knitting. I haven't updated this one with the categories instead of the projects. It depends on Mickey says octopus. Yes, little Dumbo octopus stickers. And Orchid asks what happens when you get a bingo. So that is actually up to you. Some people say like when I get a bingo, I get to buy a new project bag or something like that. Like start a new project, get a new whatever, buy the pattern you've been eyeing, that kind of thing. We're going to love early for a minute. Girly, girly. Thank you so much for the hydrate too. I hope everyone's hydrating with me. No, don't live on the open pen or else you already have enough eye makeup. So this is my project page for the Spring Ice trigger mitts. I set up one of these for every project I do. On this side, I have the details, the craft, the pattern, the source of the pattern, who it's for, or what it's for, or a deadline that I have, the date that I started it, the date that I finished it, the gauge, any mods that I'm making, the details of the needles and yarn, and then any notes over here. And then I also leave myself space to do a picture. So we can fill in, What's the date today? It's the 25th. So 19 days. I think that's amazing. You just saw the 4? Yeah, I know. I'm very sneaky. Anyways, okay, so that's updated. Woo! Yay! Okay, awesome. So, all right, bye everybody. Let's stream. Bye. No, okay. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me for finishing those mittens. Why don't I show you guys? We can hang out for a little bit longer, and I can show you guys some of the stuff I'm working on. Because some of them I haven't shown on stream. No end yet. No, not yet, Mickey. Soon, but not yet. I know, you just got here. So, Toot's been playing a lot of Stardew Valley, right? And I talked about this a little bit on the last stream, but I was thinking of making an emotional support chicken while she's playing Stardew because, you know, I need emotional support while my spouse is in the valley. So I decided to do it because why not? My first thought was I was going to do a blue chicken, but I actually don't have much blue yarn at all because I use it a lot. So I don't have very much blue yarn. However, I had a ton of like dark gray and black. So I'm making myself an emotional support void chicken. Let's just push early out of the way, I guess. So these are the yarns I'm using. I've got this lovely dark heathered gray, solid black, and then a bright red. That's going to be for the eyes and the comb. And then I haven't decided. I think I'm going to use like a peach for the beak because the sprite's kind of peachy. So I'm actually pretty far along. Show you guys. I'm just dropping stuff now. Okay. So this is the back. It's kind of hard to show when it's not sewn together. It looks a little bit like a strange shawl at this point, or like the bat signal. Or a cat bed. Early's okay. So this is like the back feathers, and then this is going up the side, and then this is the front breast, and then I'm just working on the other breast here. So this will get folded in half like so, and then sewn up along here, so you can kind of see it's looking chickeny. And then there's like an underbelly part. So yeah, it's getting there. It's looking chickeny. I'm loving it so far. And this yarn is so soft. It's so soft. I mean, it is looking chickeny. You can see the chicken taking shape. And the way that the shaping is done with short rows is just so clever. Like, just this, it's just really well done. It's gonna look so good, and it's big. I like that how big it is. So I've got the yarn is super soft and squishy. It's done in garter stitch, which is soft and squishy. But garter stitch usually tends to be a little bit looser, so I'm actually using several needles down from the size that I would normally use for this yarn. So it's it isn't creating a stiffer fabric, but it's creating a less airy fabric, but it's still really squishy. It's just going to be so nice. So I've got the red yarn for the eyes and the comb, because we do have safety eyes, but I don't know if they're going to work for this, and I'd have to paint them red anyways. So we're going to see what we're going to do for the eyes, because they have to be red eyes, obviously, because it's an emotional support void chicken. So I've only been working on this while Toot has been playing, and I haven't been working on it every time she's been playing, or else I would be done, because that would be 35 hours of work. But I'm only working on this while she's playing. So this is my little Stardew Valley chicken, which I'm going to be finished very soon, I'm sure. And then today I pulled out the citrine, which is my whip go call for this month. I haven't gotten very far on it. Oh, I'm actually in the middle of a row. Oops. I haven't gotten very far on it. But it's looking absolutely gorgeous. I love these colors. And it's also very soft. I really love the texture of this yarn. It says they've played like 5 hours since the update, but to be fair, they've only been playing for like 3 or 4 days. Yeah, Toot's been playing a lot. 35 hours, they said in chat. It's so interesting, so interesting. Yes, it is very much Galaxy colors. It's the colorway is called Bohemian, and it's so good. So I want to get the back of this done. So that's that's a total of 18 inches of knitting. And right now I'm at about 4. So I want to get, another 14 inches of this done this month. But I have confidence. I've got my moon stitch marker on here from FNAF, or Progress Keeper there. So this is going to be my main knitting project when during non-Stardew hours. So really it's just going to be between this and the Stardew chicken most of the time. I do have a couple of other projects for when I just need a little bit of variety or a little bit of changing things up, but those are kind of the 2 knitting projects I'm working on the most now. You want to aspire to Toot levels of Stardew hours. I think it was 1,111 earlier today in Stardew altogether. That's my girl. Toot says it's called Tism. All right, so Stardew on the PC, not counting on the Switch, 1,116 hours. So I have 2 cross-stitch whips as well. But there's really not much to see. This is my frog skeleton. It's a cute frog with a skeleton. I mean, like I said, there's not much to see. I just started. And he's got little blushy cheeks in this pink. And then the other one is the Kyrie and Sora piece, which is it's quite a large piece. So down here in the corner, if you'd seen in the Discord, I posted pictures of the middle bit. It's Kyrie and Sora from Kingdom Hearts sitting and sharing fruit. And then this is going to be the tree. So I just moved it to work on the tree. So these are going to be my 2 main cross-stitch projects. I want to get 3,000 stitches in each of them done before I switch back to my other ones. And then those are my 2 main knitting projects for right now. I am going to be putting up a video on the channel, on the YouTube channel, about the process of knitting these. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, basically on the YouTube channel, I do a knitting podcast every other week that just showcases what I've been working on, what I've finished, what's going on in the community here, what's going on with us, that kind of thing. Thank you, Moon, for popping up that link to the YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you've already found me. So yeah, new Cozy Cast going up either Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't actually filmed it yet, so it might be Thursday, but we shall see. So check me out on the YouTubes. You should also check out the new patterns I have for sale on the Etsy store. And of course, join the Discord if you are interested in seeing more of the community. Right now, we are going to have a special guest. This is your snake warning. If you are not a fan of snakes, look away now, because we're about to have a very special guest. He is a beautiful, normal type corn snake who is deep in shed. Deep in shed. So you'll be able to see what he looks like when he's not so bright and beautiful. So if you are not a fan of snakes, this is your last warning. Here comes the boy. Here comes the boy. So you can see, yeah, he's showing off that belly for you. He is deep in shed. I'm gonna see if I can show you his eyes. Yeah, he's brown and gray. He's basically blind at this point. When snakes shed, there's a layer of, can you see his eyes? They're kind of like a dull bluish color. Let's see. Yep. They'll get an even more whitish blue color the closer he gets to shedding. Oh, you're showing off so good for the camera there. I'd like to see the baby. Okay. So as they get close to shedding, they secrete an oil that helps them get rid of their old skin. But because they also shed their eye caps, the oil gets between their eyeballs and their skin that covers their eyeballs. So it basically looks like this cloudy blue. So that's why you'll hear snake owners say, oh, she's in blue. That means that they're getting ready to shed and they're quite blind at that point. But you can see, I mean, usually he's such a brilliant red. And then his belly, of course, is usually a very stark black and white. So he's going to jump out of his jammies anytime soon. You can almost feel the loose skin too. Like it's a different feel. So he isn't moving as much because, like I said, he probably can't see very much right now. He's going on heat signatures and smell. Snakes have about the same eyesight as humans. So not fantastic, not terrible. They get most of their information about their environment through smell and heat. And that's what the tongue flicks are. That's him smelling. He's drawing scent particles in the air into a special gland in the back of his throat that sends the information directly to his brain. All right, baby. You want to go home? Yeah, he smelled the mittens. Wanted to see what that was. So that's one of my sons. Yeah, he's about to shed any second now. But I'm glad I could share that with you guys. So we do have 3 snakes. They show up occasionally on my streams. They show up occasionally in my videos. If you ever have any questions about them, I'm more than happy to answer them. Yes, Moon is my other son. I have 5 sons. 3 snakes, a Gigi, and Moon. Moon is my son. Thank you, Moon, for saying he's gorgeous. He is gorgeous. So we got the mittens done, and I showed you a little bit of a whip parade. So I think that is a pretty good place to leave stream. We've had a little bit of a look at my son. So yeah. Thanks for the hydrate. So Toot's gonna throw up some links in a second. She was just getting Jenny back in his home. So like we said, check us out on Discord. The Discord is the place to be for all the announcements about what's going on in the community, what's going on with the streams. It's the best place to post your animal pics and get a little bit of daily sunshine. You can also find us on Twitch, Etsy, Ko-fi, YouTube, Instagram, all of the places, TikTok. So check those out. You can check out the link tree. It'll send you every which wares. There are 3 new patterns in the Etsy store. I talked about them a little bit. Oh, thank you so much, Midnight Crazy, for the raid. We're just wrapping up stream, unfortunately. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Super appreciate you. Midnight, that's so sweet. Hello, hello. A W raid instead. Yeah, no, we're just finishing up. We finished these mittens together on stream. I started them on stream 3 weeks ago. Chat actually picked the colors and picked the patterns, and we actually just finished them up tonight. I wove in all the ends. They're completely finished. So we did that. We had a look at one of my snakes, who is deep in shed. And then, yeah, now we're just wrapping up, doing a little chat. I was talking about, yes, you picked purple. So these fingers, Titty, these are for you, the purple. And yeah, I was just saying I have 3 new patterns in the Etsy store. There's going to be a few more coming up soon. I'm just polishing up some more FNAF ones. There's going to be some more Valorant ones. Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for Valorant. I'm pretty sure as soon as Clove drops, I'm going to be making a Clove pattern. Let's be real honest here. And yeah. It's funny hearing other people call him Titty. He's our Titty. We love him. Titty's on his way to steal the gloves. All right. Okay, so I'm going to wrap things up for YouTube. So everybody on Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. Everybody on YouTube, say goodbye to Twitch. So over on YouTube, this was lovely. Stay tuned Wednesday for the next Cozy Cast. Friday is going to be another live stream. You'll get the little notification when we're going live. And in the meantime, I will see you on Twitch. I'll see you in the Discord, and I will see you in my heart. All right. Bye, YouTube. Bye. Bye-bye.